In the early hours of the morning, the Middle East was rocked by a wave of missile strikes that jolted an already fragile region. Iran has confirmed it launched multiple attacks targeting U.S. military bases, most notably the Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, one of America's most critical installations in the Gulf. Just hours later, the Pentagon acknowledged that several tactical missiles, believed to be Fatah-10s, struck close to key infrastructure, prompting immediate lockdowns and the mobilization of air defenses across the region. But as missiles flew and air raid sirens echoed through the night, a different message began circulating: reports of a potential ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Confusion quickly followed. Had both sides truly agreed to lay down their weapons? Or was it just another chapter in a dangerous diplomatic dance? This is the story unfolding right now, a tense, fast-moving confrontation that could redraw the map of the Middle East and drag global powers even deeper into the fire. Just days ago, what's now being called the 12-Day War erupted with shocking intensity. After a suspected Israeli drone strike near Beersheba killed the high-ranking Iranian military advisor, Tehran vowed revenge. That retaliation came swiftly, with Iran launching over 150 rockets into Israeli airspace. Cities like Haifa, Tel Aviv, and Beersheba were thrown into chaos, with shelters filling up and entire neighborhoods plunged into darkness. Israel responded with precision airstrikes on Iranian positions in Syria and western Iran. The Israeli Defense Forces confirmed that at least 47 Havalia targets were hit, including weapons depots and command centers. Civilian casualties mounted on both sides, and international concern grew by the hour. Markets reacted immediately. Oil prices spiked by 8% overnight. U.S. stock futures dipped sharply. In Washington, the National Security Council went into emergency session, and then came the twist. In the early hours, Iranian state television aired what seemed like a dramatic announcement. A temporary ceasefire had been brokered by mediators in Qatar and Turkey. For a moment it looked like the worst might be over, but that hope was short-lived. Just 2 hours after the initial announcement, Iran's foreign ministry issued a contradictory statement. No formal ceasefire had been signed. Talks were ongoing, they said, but nothing was guaranteed. In Qatar, government officials offered little clarity, releasing only a vague call for restraint from all sides. Meanwhile, the U.S. State Department confirmed it had not been briefed on any peace deal and could not verify whether the two sides had reached an understanding at all. By sunrise, it was clear. The ceasefire was more speculation than reality. The stakes couldn't be higher. Iran's missile strikes haven't just targeted Israel. U.S. military facilities across the region are now under threat. In addition to the attack on Al Udeid in Qatar, strikes have been reported near Ain al-Assad's airbase in Iraq, and listening posts in eastern Syrian locations in the U.S. intelligence network, with nearly 50,000 U.S. troops stationed across the Middle East. Any miscalculation here risks pulling Washington into a full-scale war. U.S. forces have already elevated regional threat levels to DEFCON 3, and the aircraft carrier USS Gerald R. Ford has been redirected toward the eastern Mediterranean. For context, DEFCON 3 hasn't been activated since the early 2000s. It's a serious move. So is this war? Or are we still clinging to the idea of peace? As of now, no official ceasefire exists. While Iranian officials have hinted at a strategic pause, missile activity hasn't stopped. In fact, less than 30 minutes ago, new explosions were reported along the Israeli-Gaza border, further muddying the waters. The United Nations has called for an emergency closed-door Security Council meeting. France and Germany are pushing for immediate de-escalation. China and Russia, though silent in official statements, have moved naval assets closer to the Persian Gulf, a clear sign that they're watching closely and preparing to act if necessary. Even former U.S. President Donald Trump weighed in on the situation via Truth Social, saying, "This would never have happened under my watch. I had Iran under control." His statement quickly trended across American news outlets, adding a layer of political heat to an already volatile situation. Meanwhile, the economic ripple effects are growing. Oil prices surged to $92 per barrel, their highest point in nearly a year. The S&P 500 and Nasdaq futures are sharply down. The FAA has issued flight bans over Israel, Iran, and parts of Iraq, halting most international air travel in and out of the region, and investors across the globe are bracing for more volatility as the crisis unfolds. Right now, the most likely outcomes fall into two extremes. Either the Qatari and Turkish-led peace talks result in a formal ceasefire over the next 24 to 48 hours, or Israel and Iran escalate toward a full-blown regional war with the U.S. caught directly in the middle. Military analysts warn that if Israel confirms any new strikes on its cities or nuclear facilities, we could witness the opening shots of something far worse than the 12-Day War. One thing is certain, this isn't over. Not yet. The region remains on edge. Missile systems are on standby, diplomats are scrambling behind closed doors, and the world is watching. Because what happens next, whether a ceasefire or a cataclysm, could shape the future of the Middle East for decades to come. If you found this breakdown useful, I'll be posting constant updates right here as the story develops. Please subscribe for real-time insights on global affairs, and stay safe out there. Thanks for watching.